After 54 years, there's not much we haven't seen from President John F. Kennedy's assassination. But next week, 14 boxes of records will go public for the first time. They are the trial notes, the evidence, and other records used to prosecute Jack Ruby for killing Lee Harvey Oswald. Tonight, Jason Whiteley talked to the man immortalized in this famous photo of the crime and the local judge who finally made it happen.
Well, if you want to look at something, look at this right here.
The decades haven't dimmed many details.
Oh, well, now there's something a lot of people don't know.
Friends consider Jim Lavelle a living legend.
When he walked back, he stopped there in front of the door and kicked the shells out.
President Ford once asked him for his autograph.
I said, I imagine I could.
If you don't recognize Lavelle's name, you have seen his picture. One of the 20th century's most memorable images. Lavelle in the hat there, handcuffed to Lee Harvey Oswald when Jack Ruby pulled the trigger.
Did you say anything to Oswald when he was shot?
He went completely blank and instantly. He just went out of it. He was out by the time he hit the floor.
Lavelle is 97 now and let us visit his Garland home.
I know what happened because I could touch him anytime I wanted to.
But this story isn't about Oswald. It's about Jack Ruby, the club owner.
We got Ruby out and brought him down. And of course, he was wanting to wear my hat and my coat and everything to camouflage himself. And I said, Jack, ain't nobody gonna shoot you. In the first place, you ain't worth killing. Then I told him, I said, you didn't do us any favor when you killed Oswald. And he said, Lavelle, all I wanted to do was be a hero. And he said, looks like I just messed things up. I said, you can say that again.
Lavelle said Ruby's motive was all about his own moment in history.
He thought that if he could get a shot at Oswald and kill him, and the grand jury would say, well, Jack, that's a bad thing you done, but since he needed killing anyhow, we're going to let you go this time. And he could stand at the front door of the Carousel Club, and people would come from far and wide to shake the hand of the man that killed the assassin.
A Dallas jury found Ruby guilty of murdering Kennedy's assassin.
What was it like when you cracked those boxes open for the first time?
It was like Christmas. Giving the public access to some of these documents that they haven't ever had access to before is something that I'm very humbled to be a part of for sure.
And next week, county records from Ruby's trial back in 1964. Affidavits, witness lists, evidence, even Jack Ruby's holster become public for the first time.
Legal documents are for the lawyers, but the things that you're finding in these artifacts are for the public. They personify who he was, and they also bring to life something that happened in Dallas that most people don't know about.
This is an interesting and historic day for Dallas County.
We first learned about the 14 boxes of files 9 years ago. They had sat locked inside this courthouse vault for years. First found almost 10 years ago. So what in the world took so long? It turns out no one was quite sure what to do with them. But over the last year, Judge Birmingham worked to convince the Texas State Archive that all those boxes belonged in Dallas. He also worked out a long-term loan to the 6th Floor Museum.
This is one of the preeminent museums for what happened back in November of '63. You can't separate what happened 2 days after JFK was assassinated.
Jim Lavelle lived what's found in those files.
Now, the one I wear the most.
Badge number 736.
I've had it.
The man in the beige Stetson.
Well, you can see the sweat bands around it, or there's where my ear rested.
Today, he still has a closet full of hats and a sharp mind, willing to share what he witnessed. Jason Whiteley, Channel 8 News.
Jim Lavelle will be at the 6th Floor Museum next Wednesday night when those Jack Ruby records go on display.